But if your onboarding feels chaotic behind the scenes, that energy leaks into your client experience and really starts to affect your confidence. Hey, coach, welcome back to the Backend Blueprint for Coaches, the podcast where we untangle the tech, simplify your systems, and help you build a business backend that's calm, automated, and profitable. I'm your host, Sha-day Johnson, the tech coach and strategist for coaches like you. And today's episode might call you out just a little bit, but I'm not going to call you out unless I can help you fix it, right? So I'm going to be doing a deep dive into a phase I like to call hot mess onboarding energy. And don't worry, we've all been there. And today you're going to learn how to go from hot mess to booked coach and the power of one link onboarding. Let's get into it. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever conducted market research for what you're offering? If not, I highly, highly suggest it because this was recommended to me by every business coach I've worked with, and they were all correct in that it makes all the difference in making sure that you are creating an offer that your people actually want and need. And having those conversations is so valuable because you may even discover a pain point you didn't even realize they had, and you might find an opportunity of other areas that you can help them with that maybe you weren't even considering when you sat down to think, okay, I want to coach people on life coaching or business or health wellness, and then you sit down with them and they just drop a gem on you that you're like, whoa, mind blown. Of course, I can help them with this. Now I'm going to add this to my program. So before I had created my Paperbell course, which is now the main part of my Backend Blueprint Hub membership, I actually got on Zoom calls with about 10 coaches. And I was so grateful for their time. And I only asked them about five or so questions because I really tried to make sure that the calls weren't longer than 10 to 15 minutes. And from there, I was able to design a transformational course that I knew would help them with the struggles that they were having because I used the exact pain points that they had expressed to me and made sure that those were solved inside of the course and now membership. And during those calls, I specifically noted or noticed a pattern around onboarding, which is why you hear me talk about it so much, and it's part of why I chose this topic for today's episode. So I want you to think about, how do you feel when someone says, I'm in, and they are wanting to be your new client? Did that statement just like send shivers down your spine because you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not ready? It's amazing that they want to work with me, but I don't even know what to do next. Maybe you have to open up four different tabs to send them your invoice, send your contract, a calendar link, and maybe an onboarding survey. Maybe you realize midweek that actually forgot to send them something important. And maybe you worry that you're not looking as polished or professional as you'd like to. Well, I can tell you for a fact, since I've talked to all those coaches and plenty more in DMs and worked with some one-on-one, that you are in fact not alone. And most coaches really do start with good intentions. They try to piece things together with what they have. Maybe they're using Stripe or PayPal, Calendly, Google Docs, email, maybe even a few templates. But what starts as good enough for now quickly becomes an inconsistent client experience, lost time, low confidence, and sometimes even lost sales. And it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's that your back end hasn't been built to support you yet. So I get it. You're amazing at coaching, but you're not trying to be a tech wizard. But if your onboarding feels chaotic behind the scenes, that energy leaks into your client experience and really starts to affect your confidence. So here's why this may be hurting your business more than you think. What I've seen over and over again is you get a new lead, the person is excited, you're excited, but because the process is messy and manual, the energy just starts to fizzle and the onboarding takes too long, client starts to second guess, and I call this like a lag energy. When the back end doesn't move at the speed of your client's excitement, you start to lose momentum. Then you start to feel behind. And instead of feeling confident, you feel scattered and unprepared, even if you're amazing at what you do. And so that is the real cost of a disorganized onboarding workflow. It's not just inconvenient, it chips away at your CEO energy. So imagine this instead. Your client says, yes, I'm in. I want to work with you. And now you send them just one link. And with that one link, your client is now able to pay, sign their contract, book their first session, receive their welcome emails, and any other materials you want to provide to them. And they get a beautiful branded experience. There's no chaos, no confusion, no back and forth. And you just sip your coffee or sip your tea and just get on with your day because it all happened automatically in the background. And so that is the power of Paperbell. You've heard me talk about it before. It's my favorite tool for coaches. And that is what I call one link onboarding. It's specifically what Paperbell was made for, and it's why I teach it exclusively now inside of the Backend Blueprint Hub. It instantly positions you as a pro. So even if you're still figuring things out behind the scenes, you now have set up this one link so that you are always ready when someone says yes to working with you. But here's what I want to be clear about. One link onboarding is not just about automation. It's actually about an identity shift. So you're going to stop operating like a scrappy freelancer and you're going to start showing up like a confident, booked out business owner because now your backend supports you and this version of you. And here's what really changes when you get your onboarding system in place. One, you stop second guessing yourself. So you are confident when someone says yes. You're like, okay, here's the link. Let's get started. Two, you reclaim hours of your time because now you're not scrambling when someone says yes to find all the links you need to send them, all the documents. It's just already ready with that one link. Three, you close more sales because you look ready for more clients. Like I said, that energy that you're harboring because you don't feel prepared on the back end, that is translating to how you're showing up for your business online. So now that you know internally and on the back end that you're ready, that is going to show up as you show up for your business. And lastly, you actually enjoy welcoming people into your world because you feel so much more prepared and confident that they're going to have a good experience once they get onboarded into your program. And so that's the ripple effect of having calm systems. And honestly, as you can see, that one link can change everything. However, I do want to caution you that this is where most coaches freeze up. They think, I don't know how to build all that. I'm not techie, and I'll just do it later. But inside the Backend Blueprint Hub, I've made it so simple because you don't need to figure it out on your own. And when you join, you'll get access to my step-by-step Paperbell roadmap, which is a mini course that walks you through how to set up your coaching packages, create one streamlined onboarding link, automate the whole client experience, and you can go live with confidence in 3 days or less. You don't need to hire a tech VA. You don't need to duct tape a bunch of different tools together, and no more second guessing. Just calm, peaceful systems that actually work. And so, remember in the last episode when I told you that I was going to be making an official announcement about the hub? Well, here it is. Right now, the Backend Blueprint Hub membership is just $7 per month, but that is changing on Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. And that special founder rate will be gone, and the new rate will be $17 per month. And while that is still a steal, I really wanted to reward the early action takers, the ones who are saying, I'm ready to use Paperbell and clean up my back end and show up like the coach that I know that I am. So if that's you, now's your time to shine, baby. So go to shadayjohnson.com/BBH to lock in that founder's rate now. And I'll also drop the link in the show notes for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found value in this episode or had any aha moments, I'd love it if you would do two things for me. One, subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast app. It really helps more coaches to find the show. And two, take a screenshot and post it over inside of the Automated and Abundant Coaches Facebook group with your thoughts. I'd love to hear what's clicking for you. And remember, this tech thing gets to be easy. Your coaching business deserves systems that work for you, not the other way around. So until next time, keep simplifying, automating, and thriving. You've got this. I'll see you next time. Bye.